Gail with Traders Help Desk, and right now I'm watching the Euro US dollar, and it looks like it's going to come down, and this has an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm actually going to go out to 12.20. It's very low risk, and it's 282.50 total risk. And so I'm just going to enter that order. I do think that price is going to come down and at least try to test this low here. We'll wait and see what happens though. I also want to show you actually a crude chart, and we had perfect hidden divergence here, and I'm just going to mark where we're making lower highs in price and we're making higher highs in the stochastics. Again, this is hidden divergence, and it tells you that you're going to have a very powerful move to the downside. In other words, you're going to get a lot of momentum on this just because of this hidden divergence here. Now, I would have traded it, except it doesn't start until 8 o'clock, so there's nothing I can do with this other than I could have taken a daily, but I just preferred to bypass it because it doesn't open a 2-hour binary, which is typically what I trade, until 8 o'clock this morning. Now, I don't like what the euro is doing right here. You can see that it's going up, so I may scratch this trade, but we have about another 8 to 9 minutes in this, so I'm going to give it about 10 minutes before I decide whether to exit or not. Now, this is my typical TradeStation workspace, and you can see that I'm monitoring all of the instruments in the radar screen, and I know exactly what all of my time frames are doing. If it says price at CD or it says price at the ATR, then that tells me I need to go and analyze that particular chart because we may have divergence of some type there. So this is one of the reasons I trade multiple time frames, but it's more advanced if you don't understand the basics, which is price action, support and resistance, and simple divergence. Then this would be much harder for you to comprehend because it is an advanced method monitoring multiple time frames. Now, if you go over and look at my 45-minute and my 12-minute, which is my typical trading time frames, you can see that we were at an ATR on crude. So that immediately told me, hey, go check the stochastics because we might have divergence there. You can see I've marked the highs over on the 12-minute crude. You can see I marked the highs on the stochastics. That tells me, hey, there's hidden divergence there. Now, if you also look at the volume indicator, we can see that we have volume divergence there as well. Sorry, I have my alarms on. And that tells me that not only was there hidden divergence in the stochastics, but there's also a decrease in buyers. This is where you just want to throw everything at this trade because you got support and resistance showing you that it's going to go down. In this case, it's resistance. You've got volume divergence. You've got hidden divergence. This is going to be a major move to the downside on crude. You know, I trade 2-hour binaries. It doesn't open until 8 o'clock, so there was no way for me to actually enter this at the point that I needed to enter it at. So, you know, very important concepts there. Now, if you remember, I was thinking about exiting the euro, but you can see now that we're making lower lows in price. We're also on the stochastics making lower lows as well. So in this case, I'm going to actually stay with the trade. That's just the difference, you know, between a few minutes ago and right now, when price and stochastics is doing exactly what it should be doing. Now, I just want to show you on the crude. Do you see how on the 45-minute the buyers are starting to come in that bar? Now, this does not end until 9 o'clock, but it's something I know to keep an eye on because we're at a level that may support price, and we may get stochastics divergence. And if that comes in, you're also going to get a magenta dot on this lower indicator, and that simply tells me that price would go back to the ATR, and that would give me another potential entry onto crude. Okay, I think I'm going to exit this trade because we're getting overextended to the downside. Don't have enough time left, so I'm just going to go ahead and exit the trade. Didn't quite make the 100% that I want to make, but with this being overextended, we're going to get a retracement. There's only 30 minutes left in this trade, so this is not one that I want to stick with because it would eat my profits.